This method has helped countless organizations transform their operations, from the military to medicine to software development. And you know what? It can do the same for your personal productivity. In this video, I'll explain what the theory of constraints is and walk you through 5 simple steps. Using these 5 steps, you can radically improve any outcome that you're trying to create. The theory of constraints was first developed by Dr. Eliyahu Goldratt in the 1980s. Goldratt was an Israeli physicist and management consultant who introduced this revolutionary philosophy through his book, The Goal. The core concept of the theory is that every system has at least one bottleneck or constraint that limits its performance. So the performance of the system as a whole, whether we're talking about a company, a country, an economy, an engine, or even a single person, is limited by the output of that one constraint. This concept has been used for decades to improve manufacturing, including auto manufacturing and many other different kinds of businesses. But I've been studying the theory of constraints for many years, and it's been amazing to find that it's just as useful in our digital-centric world. It even applies to you and me. Yes, you are a system too. You take inputs, you process them, you change them, and then you use them to create outputs every day of your life. That's what it means to be productive, to produce. Let's say you're a software engineer. You take specifications, requests, you process them, and out comes code ready to deploy. If you're a project manager, you take deadlines and requirements and user needs, organize them, and out comes, say, a project plan with milestones. The theory of constraints really applies to everyone, and it can help us work smarter instead of harder. Let's apply the theory of constraints to your personal productivity. Goldratt developed 5 steps to find and then improve any constraint or bottleneck. Step 1, identify the constraint. You have to pinpoint the weakest link, also known as the bottleneck, in your system. This could be a particular task or a habit or a mindset that is limiting your overall productivity. Here are a few common personal constraints: your energy levels, the time you have available, your motivation, your mental well-being, your skills and knowledge, the tools and resources that you have available. My personal constraint is the energy I have specifically for deep, focused work each day. In my case, that deep work is needed to research and write my next book. Let's see how we can go about improving that constraint of mine. Step 2, exploit the constraint. You want to make the most of its existing capacity so it operates as efficiently as possible before you invest a lot in expanding that capacity. In my case, this means making the most of my available energy for focused writing. I do that by scheduling my writing sessions during the time of day when I have the most energy. For me, that's in the morning, and so I block off 2 or 3 hours every weekday morning just for that. I also sometimes use tools like the Pomodoro technique, where I work for 25 minutes and then I take a 5-minute break using a timer to maximize my focus and my productivity during my writing sessions. Step 3, subordinate everything else. What it means is you align all the surrounding activities and habits and routines to support that constraint. For me, that means creating a distraction-free environment for my writing sessions. I turn off notifications, I close unnecessary tabs, I let my family know not to disturb me during this time or get a babysitter if needed. In other words, instead of treating my writing sessions as sort of these optional nice-to-haves, I treat them as non-negotiable appointments in my daily schedule. There's also other things like eliminating or automating or delegating tasks that I don't necessarily have to do myself to preserve as much of my time and energy as possible for that focused writing. Only now, at step 4, are we going to elevate the constraint itself. What it means to elevate is to increase its capacity, or alternatively, to eliminate it altogether. In my case, that has me pose the question, how can I have more energy in general? How can I elevate the constraint, which is my energy to do focused writing? I could work on improving my overall health, for example, through more regular exercise, eating a balanced diet, getting more sleep. I could also incorporate more breaks and physical activity into my routine to give me these moments to recharge throughout the day. I can and do experiment with techniques such as meditation to boost my focus as well. Step 5. Repeat the process. Once you've addressed the initial constraint, continue to monitor your workflow. It's likely that a new constraint in some other part of your workflow will now pop up, and then you can repeat the whole process. There you have it, a powerful framework to identify and address the key bottlenecks that limit your personal productivity. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who you think might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like more tips on living your best, most productive life, subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. Just follow the link in the description.